Hi, my name is Jerry Wise, and I would like to talk to you regarding a topic that I get a lot of requests for, and I believe there's a lot of need for. A lot of people struggle and have difficulty in understanding and doing family of origin work. And this video is about what is family of origin work. I have lots of folks who ask and inquire, well, what does it mean to do family of origin work? In this day and age when a lot of therapy focuses around behavioral changes, or even the use of medication, or cognitive changes in terms of trying to think your way through or out of problems, I think there's a large lacking in the area of understanding, managing, and doing family of origin work, which is so important for, I believe, long-term and real change. By the way, I'm not against any of those methods or modalities, they're called, of therapy. I think they're all useful, and I use all of them. And I think used in the right way can be very helpful. But family of origin work, I have found, has probably brought more freedom, more clarity of thinking, more happiness, more wholeness to more people than probably any other therapy I've ever experienced or utilized. So what is family of origin work? And Jerry, what do you mean by family of origin work? Well, I think of two things in particular. One is changing the pain, meaning going back and doing the emotional work of freeing ourselves from those past negative emotional experiences and the past negative emotional pain that we experience even today. And then second of all, I think about changing the self, which is the work of changing and practicing self-differentiation. This video is about changing the pain. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Changing the pain means changing from that was then and this is now thinking to the past is present thinking. Now that may sound new to you. Maybe you understand it. What I want to say that a lot of people believe that when I grew up in my family of origin, hey, that was a long time ago, it doesn't affect me today, or if it does, it just affects me peripherally or in a limited way, and really doesn't affect how I function today, how I think, how I feel. In other words, that was then, this is now. And they take that approach. But what I find with that approach is those folks who hold that belief tend to recycle and recycle. They tend to not have as clear-headedness. They seem to be stuck in a lot of emotional traps and feelings, and they have lots of reactivity that occurs. Now there's another camp that believes the past is present, meaning we grow up like a tree would grow, in which you would see the different rings, and that we're all of everything that's gone before us. And that's what's in us right now. And our work is to find a true and new self while acknowledging, healing, and dealing with all of that has been our past. And that would be the past is present view. And that's the view that I hold. And I believe it tends to be more useful, tends to be more effective in really bringing about change for individuals, for couples, for marriages, with regard to depression, whether codependency or counterdependency or anxiety. It really allows someone to grow up and to self-define or differentiate themselves from the past by first acknowledging and owning and experiencing their past, and seeing that the past is present. Many of our feelings, reactions, reactivity, and beliefs are remnants from this past, and particularly our family of origin, because that's where we grew up. And this past is experienced as present. Breaking this fusion with the past by doing our family of origin work, and breaking this fusion of our experience with our family of origin can truly bring about significant changes. This enmeshment is maintained by holding on to painful feelings of hurt, shame, guilt, anger, mistrust, worthlessness, insecurity, fear of criticism, fear of control, all of those things we may have learned growing up in our family. We can harbor these feelings for a lifetime, even if our family of origin changes or our relationship improves with our family of origin. For example, I've had people come in and say, I have a great relationship with my father now. He's changed. He's a lot nicer. He treats me well. But I'm always getting angry with my husband for the same things my father used to do. Or I feel controlled by my husband just like my dad used to do. And again, we have past rushing in and pushing in on the present. And if we can deal with or heal that past, that truly can allow us much more freedom to choose better relationships and to interact in our relationships that we currently have. I'll give you an example of Greg and his anger. Greg grew up in a home in which the home life centered around anger, which in his family goes back a couple of generations, if not more. His mother was very cold emotionally. She was strict, critical, angry, and bordered on the abusive. His father was passive, keep the peace at all costs, he believed, and he was that type of father and parent and husband. Greg internalized all of this anger and holds significant anger and resentment within his internal relationship with his mother. However, he can never express it or expel it because she would never tolerate it because of her anger and resentment and criticalness and frustration. And Greg fears he might lose any chance of gaining the love from her he never received, but has always yearned for and still hopes for as an adult. Well, Greg has two choices. He can accept the fact that the past is present. In other words, this is truly inside of me, and I can work it out, and I can get it out of me doing a healthy family of origin work. Or he can decide, hey, that was then, this is now. I'm not going to let it affect me anymore, and I'm going to go move to Colorado. And I'm not going to deal with my family of origin, and then I can live in peace, and everything will go well. Until he marries someone out in Colorado, has children, has a family, and finds he's recreating his family of origin all over again, only now in Colorado or some other state. In other words, Greg just cuts off from his family of origin, believing that was then, this is now, rather than accepting and embracing and going through the healing, which might truly allow him to be freer and to be free internally, no matter where he lives, whether next door to his family or 2,000 miles away. By becoming aware of his past/present anger and resentment, experiencing it, healing, and letting it go through therapy, he now becomes free to create the family of his choosing versus a continuation of the 3 generations of anger and resentful parenting and an almost abusive parenting that he's experienced in his family of origin, generation through generation. Many do not believe they are affected by their family of origin. That was then, this is now type of mental state. However, this mental state keeps them tied and shackled to their family of origin and freezes their emotional life, limiting choices and limiting flexibility in intimacy. In other words, it's the very fact of I don't believe my family of origin affects me. It's that very fact that keeps me affected by my family of origin. And that only makes sense, because that's the paradigm we would have that would keep having intergenerational transmission of these problems, feelings, and difficulties. Many have said, but my family of origin caused these feelings. Now I just have to cope with them as an adult. I just need to not let them bother me. I accept that they happen, but I just don't let them bother me. Well, adopting a new way of seeing these feelings can help free us from the past. Not seeing the past as present is what I call temporal blindness. We only see or feel what is present without acknowledging past imprinting and how it influences us now, and how it influences us in our marriages, our relationships, our jobs, and with our friends. Temporal blindness is living while not noticing or seeing how the past is affecting us. In other words, our insight is blinded or limited. It's the old notion of thinking inside the box. We can't think outside the box. That's temporal blindness. In other words, there's only now. There's no past that affects the present, because the past was the past and it's gone. Time has gone by. Temporally, things have changed. So it no longer bothers me. But that temporal blindness causes lots of problems and keeps us very stuck in a lot of ways. I accept the past really happened and the pain that was experienced. That's one of the first things I do to come out of this temporal blindness. I acknowledge that negative feelings were imprinted when I was young. I had different troubling experiences, difficult beliefs and patterns that went on in my family of origin. We continue these feelings within us and come to believe we cannot let go or heal them. And again, that's part of the temporal blindness. This cannot let go of belief is one of the mechanisms which keeps us enmeshed with our family of origin and affects our adult relationships as well. We begin our family of origin work by exploring and doing the archaeology on these old feelings. And we can heal them, release them, achieve greater freedom from them, and gain self-differentiation. We find ourselves not the old family of origin, but more ourselves by acknowledging and going through that work. And we gain self-differentiation from our family of origin, from our old pain, from that imprinting, from messages, from patterns. Doing family of origin work involves identifying and expressing and expelling feelings that don't belong to the present. And that's the issue, is we are so controlled by the past that creates our present. If we can heal the past, we then can truly live in the present emotionally, choose what we want, have the intimacy that we want. When we achieve freedom from the past, we achieve freedom in the present. Let me repeat that. When we achieve freedom from the past, we achieve freedom in the present. And that's the benefit. That's the goal. That's the exciting part about doing family of origin work. And if you don't believe me, come in and I'll show you. This freedom is possible with good therapy and a helpful therapist. The next video I want to present that I'll be posting on YouTube is changing the self. I just talked about changing the pain. Now we got to talk about changing the self. Learning how your family of origin works inside you and how you live your life as a dance led by your family of origin imprinting and your family of origin patterns. Those beliefs and that emotional life from your family of origin. Family of origin emotional patterns plus your emotional life equals what I call your emotional field. And this emotional field can be identified, healed, and the chains broken so that you can be you, the true you, the self-differentiated you. I hope you'll contact me and begin your journey of healing and recovery and freedom from your past. You can call or email me. My phone number is on the screen. My email address is there. If you live in Indianapolis, make an appointment and come and see me. If you don't, I provide Skype and FaceTime therapy as well. I want to thank you for listening today, and have a great day.